Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is your boy Josh Kesley, and welcome back again to this YouTube channel. And yeah, I really appreciate for my viewers and my returning subscribers for always coming back to watch my videos. It doesn't matter how many we are, okay? Yeah, as long as at the end of the month, we get one view, that matters, okay? Yeah, because uh we believe in growth, okay? We believe in gradual growth, okay? Gradual but organic, all right? Yeah, so I think there's nothing will despair me, okay? There's nothing will despair me of our growth. Yeah, we will have, you just have to, we just have to be patient, try our best, And also, you see, I think you should clap for me because I'm trying to be consistent. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to, I'm trying. I'm trying to post every day. I don't know if it's because okay, let me just not say about it, but at least I'm trying, guys. I just told you that, uh it's that time that either of these things must work for me, okay? Yeah, either of these things must work for me, okay? No matter what, and that's why I'm trying to push. Okay? So please just help me pushing the video, okay? You can also decide to share, and if you are just viewing without subscribing, oh my god, then I don't think if you're supporting me you should be subscribing so that we keep on growing, okay? We keep on growing, and yeah, that's the most important way of supporting me. Yeah, because let's have hope that maybe we might be among in future, okay? Maybe in the next 3 years we might be among those big YouTubers, right? Manifestation, okay? Yeah, I prophesy that in the next 3 years, if I just keep consistency, then in the next 3 years maybe we might be because we are now the community, right? We might be somebody big, okay? Yeah, but only through your support. If you share, then I really appreciate. So today's topic is about uh my journey or my life history about my previous employment, okay, my and my take also, okay, my previous take on employment, my take on employment, some employments, and my previous story about the employment, okay? So when I began my life, I was being employed, okay? And more most of things that I own came from employment, okay? And also employment made me be able to feed my family, to pay the bills, okay? And then I was employed for 1 year, 1 year 6 months. Yes, 1 year 6 months. And after 1 year 6 months, that employment, you know, ended. Ended and as unexpectedly. I didn't expect that employment to end as early as it ended. And I was so, I was so much, upset about it. And the reason why I was so much upset, and most importantly, I was so much upset with my boss. Why? You know, when I started working with my boss, and he knew my story, and I told him that at least if I have a backup, it would be better for me, so that even if something happens, uh, uh, I won't be struggled. I won't be struggling, or I won't be stranded. And I gave him some of ideas that I needed to do. I wanted to start some businesses, so I gave him ideas of I want to do, what I want to start. But unfortunately, my boss didn't like it. He told me that no, concentrate with your work. Those things you will do them later. I don't know what. You won't concentrate with your employment if you start another business. So I think maybe he was kind of afraid, whereby he thought maybe I could be, you know, the business could make me more money than what he's giving me, and then maybe later I'll decide to quit. Oh my goodness, that's the most thing that I do regret until today, after being told that the job has ended. Okay, I was not fired. Even if I was fired, I can't know. But I was just told, I was not given even a notice for 3 months or a week. Like, this will be your last, uh, months of working. No, it was just the same month that I was expecting my salary. Same month. In fact, it was a week before I could receive my salary. Just receive a text that, I want to be able to pay you again, and I'm shifting to another programs and what. And I was like, what the fuck? What the hell? And to make it worse, I'd already upgraded my life, man. I just upgraded my life from a bed sitter to a 2 bedroom house because I needed a big space for my baby. I also wanted to bring somebody, to keep my not somebody, but I wanted to adopt some kids, to stay with my baby, at least to give my baby company when we are busy. Hey, my goodness, things turn things turns opposite. Okay, things turns upside down when I'd already shifted to I've even upgraded my lifestyle. I'm paying, I'm paying uh I'm paying my rent, which is way, high than the previous apartment. Okay, so the apartment that I went, it was like uh, two times, or 2 times plus a quarter of what I used to pay from the previous apartment. Okay, so it was kind of scary moment to me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. But I just hope that things are going to be better. So I just waited for the employment. I just waited for that, salary. And when I received the salary, uh, I didn't shift immediately. The reason why I didn't shift immediately, there's something that I was doing. So I really hoped that this thing was going to give me something. And my life could continue, because according to how I'd planned for this other thing, I I'd already seen the potential of it giving me even more than what I was receiving from the employment. So I thought that this thing could work for me in the next 2 months, only to find myself that I've cooked myself. Oh my goodness. So I cooked myself, okay? This thing didn't work, it failed. And yeah, it was really heartbreaking moment for me. Okay, now this after, you know, I've already, you know, I'm already paid for that last month that I'm told it is the end of our job. And at this point, you have the family. Okay, you have family here. You need to pay your rent. You've already used even some of the monies that you saved, and you know, trying to plan, how you're going to how you're going to how you're going to shift from this place to another place. The money is not enough. Okay, so I found myself in a dilemma situation. You don't know where to start from, you don't know what to do. Like, it was just messy moment for me. It was messy moment for me. I was so confused. I felt myself being in a despair, you know stress hitting, depression hitting. So, this is the point. I felt that, there's some employment that, once you leave them, okay, once you leave them, you will never again, like, you will never again be the same. Okay, once you leave them, you'll never be the same. Like, things will just fall apart. You will lose everything that you've ever achieved from that employment. Not only because yes, I know people might judge, oh, you did not plan yourself very good and what. But remember, I told my boss that I want to do this and this and this, and so that he can be aware. And because he never allowed me to do this thing, it forced me to involve people, to collaborate with people, which collaboration with people is a high risk high risk high risk what high risk take. Okay, because you're not sure of who you are dealing with. Okay, but if you just start your own thing, you can be sure of what you are doing. Okay, so it forced me to collaborate with other people, whereby I found myself losing a lot of money. Okay, just through by collaborating with people, and I never got any benefit from it, because I didn't want my boss to know that I'm doing something beyond, beyond whatever the employment, and also I knew that if I decide to do it on my own, I could spend more time, okay, trying to check on my own businesses, and then at that point he will realize, or he will notice that I'm not putting much effort on his work. Okay, so that's why, you know having the decision of doing ABCD and taking a risk of collaborating with people made me lose it. Okay, so the only thing that I normally blame about this job is that, about being employed. I feel like being employed is kind of, some employments, I don't say all, some employments are like slaveries, especially if you don't have the qualifications of, high pay end jobs. Then the other jobs are like slavery, to be honest. The other jobs are seems like be slavery, especially jobs that are in our country, local. In our country. I don't say about the other jobs which are abroad and whatever, but in our country, if you don't have qualifications and also connection for better jobs that can give you that dream life, then the rest of the jobs are just for slavery. Yeah, there are some jobs that if you've been stopped or you've been fired, you will find yourself everything you've ever bought from that salary you got from that job, they'll all end up in debt for sure. Yeah, because you need to survive, you have to sell or being auction things that you bought from the salary you got from that job. So I feel like, some employments are like just slavery, and that's why I decided, to venture into different skills and to see if I might thrive from this kind of skills. Okay, so whatever that will start paying me fast, well and good. Okay, I better I better get money from my skill and start my own business from the money that I know that I got from my skills, rather than getting money from employment whereby you don't know, like, sometimes, being employed, there's, okay, not all employments are that way, like you feel being like a slavery, no, but most of them are just slavery. Hey, man, most of them are slavery. But mine was not like a local employment, but the way it ended, I felt like a slavery. It's not because I didn't plan for myself. People, you know, there's people will talk, people will tell you, Joshua, you didn't plan yourself very well, this and this and this, until you go through that, until you go through, I can't judge somebody based on how he used to live his life and how he has spent his money without knowing what was really taking place in his life. To be honest, yes, I understand sometimes is some of us, we do misuse money, but in which way? In which way did I misuse the money and whatever? You know, until you understand, like, just try to understand and be in that shoe. If it was you, you know, being Joshua at that moment, then you could have understood. In fact, like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to say. Yeah, so things happens in different way. Okay, things happens in different way. If I was misusing money, then maybe if I could be drinking, I could be partying, I could be buying expensive clothes, I could be buying expensive stuffs and forgetting to, to buy. But all those things I didn't manage to do them. Okay, I was just trying to secure for my future, and that's where most of the money went. You know, that's where most of the money went misusing. Otherwise, even if I could have saved them, still I could have already used all the money until today. I could have already used all of them because from from last year October until today, I've not gotten a job, and I have to pay my bills, I have to eat, I have to take care of my family. So that money, eh, I could have already even eaten them. Okay, yeah. So that's my thought about employment. Some employment, I feel like some employments are like slavery. Once you leave them, you everything that you achieved through them will leave you, and you'll start again from zero. And that the experience that I myself as Joshua has experienced. It's only that, sometimes uh, I'm afraid to speak out, because not even I'm afraid, I feel like somehow you feel shame speaking out, because maybe you have that kind of mentality, there are these people waiting for your downfall and whatever, those kind of mentality. But what I've come to realize, that people who will criticize your downfall is those people that have not gone through anything about life. They even don't know about any responsibility in their lives. Okay, so that doesn't bother me anymore, and that's why I even decided to do these videos here. Okay, yeah. And I think that is it, guys, and I'm so thankful. Give me your thoughts. Yeah, just give me your thoughts about such kind of employment. I don't say, okay, I don't want to paint it bad, that it was bad. No, just as I said before, that it gave me a start of me being independence and taking my own responsibilities. Okay, and the little the few things that I'm now left with, because honestly speaking, since that job ended, I have sold a lot of things in my house, and the few that I'm remaining with, yeah, I can just be proud of whatever the few things that I'm remaining with, that I got from that job. Okay, yeah. But honestly speaking, I feel like, Joshua, for this time round, just find a skill that will make you money, and also have that freedom of doing anything you want. Yeah, that job did give me freedom of starting my own business. I had to start it secretly, whereby this secretly made me lose money. Okay, so I think starting my own thing will make me grow better and bigger. Okay, yeah. All in all, I really appreciate the boss, because he gave me a head start for my own life. And eventually I found myself also having a family at a very early stage. But I've tried until this point. I've tried my best, and yeah, I hope that things will get better very soon. Maybe in the next 3 years, who knows? Yeah, because me too, for the past 4 years before starting my own life, I didn't know that in 2023 I could start my own life. So it was God's plan. So even in 2 years, in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now, I don't know what's there for me. As long as I keep on pushing on whatever that I'm doing, doesn't matter how many times it fails, but I know eventually it will pay off. Okay, so that is it, guys, and thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. Bye bye, see you on the next video. Okay.